Hey everybody, I wanted to give you a bit of an update or kind of a first rundown of this miniature DIY MFT that I'm building. And I mentioned this in my shop tour that I'd be building it. I'm not going to be putting out any formal downloadable plans or anything like that, but I just wanted to probably do 3 videos in this series just to show you what I'm building. And this is essentially the mini-me version of the DIY MFT that I built for the big MFT for the shop. So I have a whole build series, again, no downloadable plans or anything, but 7 videos on how I did the large table and bench and some of the improvements that I've made to it recently, which you can see some of the way that tools can hang on it and that sort of thing. But this is essentially a smaller version, about just under or just over 1/3 of the size. So the top itself is about 1,000 millimeters by 800 millimeters. A little under on both of those. And I just wanted to show you a little bit of kind of the rough plan. So this was, I think, the first sketch that I did. Just kind of want that torsion top and Systainer storage underneath, which is why I'm calling it the MFT Systainer cart, because I do have Systainers all over the place. And yeah, so that was the original drawing. Here's a little bit more detail, and I wanted to kind of go towards this design where instead of having just 4 pods for Systainer storage, let's do a shelf on the back because I don't have enough Systainers right now to fill that up. So that shelf can actually help me alleviate some space from a lumber storage perspective for some of the small pieces. And that essentially turned into this, which was drawn up yesterday just as I got started, which allowed me to get some more formal measurements using 19 millimeter 3/4 inch material here in Canada. And then I did have kind of like, yeah, just the cut list optimizer. Great website, check it out. It's great to just kind of feed in your measurements. Doesn't matter if it's inches or millimeters or anything in between. And then it kind of just helps you lay that out. And yeah, that's kind of what I've done here. So anyways, the torsion top, let's just talk a little bit about that. It will be a little bit bigger than the base, just like I did here. So there will be a bit of overhang. I just think it looks a little nicer now. Similar to, and I actually went back to my original MFT video to see how I applied finish, which was Osmo, which I'm going to be using on this one. And something that I complained about on that one was just how difficult it was for me to do these holes. And I was originally going to use a router, and I tried doing that on the original one, and it burned, and then I got frustrated. Then I think I used Forstner bits to just kind of hog those out, then use a jigsaw. Well, long story short, I made the exact same mistake on this one where I used a router bit, kind of like just lots of burning, that sort of thing. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use a brad point bit, kind of do each of the corners and then just connect them with the jigsaw. And it, I wanna say it looks better in person than it does on video, but it's probably the exact opposite where it looks better on video than it does in person, but this is meant to be a functional table. This isn't meant to be like a beautiful piece of shop furniture or anything like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the top and how it's come together. And here is the base. Let's see if I can kind of get it in all of its glory. So I spent a lot of time this weekend breaking down the plywood. Something that made that so much better, and I do have a video on this I just put out recently, is this 1200 millimeter MFT fence from Bench Dog Tools. That was a lifesaver. Not only was that fence great, the right-hand side support, which in the video that I did on the Bench Dog fence, I mentioned that I probably wouldn't buy the right-hand side support, and boy, am I wrong. So I will definitely correct that via comment. But yeah, the right-hand side support was great. The multiple flip stops are great. I probably want a 3rd flip stop. I did run into a few times where I would have definitely taken advantage of that, but yeah. So all the sheets were broken down. They've all been sanded. They've all been edge banded just with iron-on maple edge banding. This is maple plywood, nothing fancy, just from Rona or Lowe's, kind of equivalent in the US. And what's cool from a joinery perspective is that I got to really kind of put the domino to use. And this is like the first real project where I've been using the domino, and it was awesome. So just to kind of walk through what I did, this is going to change the way that I do cabinetry, but on these side pieces, I did 5 dominoes. I used 6 millimeter dominoes, so where you have to do 25 millimeters deep, 15 millimeters deep on the other piece, and didn't screw up any of them, which was great. But on this one, 5 dominoes, so I just used kind of like the edge of the domino for the 2 outer ones. The other 2 just drew a line and just kind of put them in tight on this piece. Then what I did for the base was I did a tight setting on the front domino, and I did a tight setting on the back domino, and then loose, loose, loose. So for those that don't have a domino, what that does is it basically allows you to make a wider mortise. So like, because like the tight ones are super tight, like to the point where you almost have to sand the dominoes if you're doing a dry fit. Well, you do have to sand them to do an effective dry fit. And yeah, so whereas the loose makes it a little bit wider. I can't remember off the top of my head how much, but it makes it so like if there is any imperfection in where you place them, you're okay. So you've got a couple millimeters of play. So that was awesome because I'm using it not just for alignment, but also for kind of structural support. So this is just dry fit right now. And it is amazing how sturdy this is. Super thrilled with it. I use dominoes in this middle divider. I use dominoes in this middle divider. And the only place I'm using pocket holes is with the stretchers that go across here, because the pocket holes are hidden. I think that's the way that you should use pocket holes. So they will be hidden. And then I'll be screwing up into the MFT style top. So yeah, I feel like this is kind of like the mix of joinery that I want to use on cabinets. And it's just so nice just to get like absolutely perfect alignment. You'll even see here, like I did the dominoes before doing the edge banding, but it is absolutely perfect. I am absolutely thrilled with how that worked out. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. So I'm gonna be using these Sys rails. So it's what I use with all my Systainers, where they're just on these, slide out, go back. They're fine. Yes, I love the AZ drawers that pull out, but they are, I think that they're about $100 for one. And these are like $50 for 4 pairs. So no comparison, and I'm pretty happy with them overall. So yeah, that is, I think, it for this video. I am going to be gluing these in as well. So I've got the dominoes in. I'm going to be gluing tomorrow. I'm going to be putting in the stretchers and then basically just getting finished. So I'll probably use polyurethane on the base. The only place that I'm using the Osmo is on the MDF top. But yeah, I think that's it for now on this miniature DIY MFT. And leave your thoughts in the comment description or comments below. Although I am pretty sure that I'll be ahead on this before I get to those comments and posting this video. So thanks for watching. See you in another video soon.